Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Racing Nexus channel and welcome to round 4 of the Throttle Freaks GT3 Championship here at the beautiful circuit of Spa-Francorchamps out in Belgium. My name is Stephen Koenig. Joining me on the mic is the one, the only Richard Swindells, and our cameraman, producer, and big boss, Rob Campbell, going to be going and giving us all the best shots, and our camera is supplied by Trackcam, and that is from broadcast from our camera gourmet. Apologies on that one. Welcome to Belgium. It is a beautiful 20 degrees out here, and the track at 28, Richard, and Spa is incredible. What do you think of our drivers here tonight, looking to move forward for round 4 as we're nearing the halfway mark?
Yeah, it's going to be a little different than last week at Summit Point. These guys are going to be able to stretch their legs today. Something Summit Point a little more technical. This is a little more high speed. Lots of elevation changes, and I guarantee you every single driver in the field tonight, and of drivers I think we're up to about 45 or so, has a lot of experience here at Spa. Tonight we're racing week 4, season 5. We got 10 races this season. Today we're at Spa, 45-minute sprint race. They got a 50% fuel limit, so drivers are going to have to come in for fuel. We'll see, some of them may take tires. Next week we're off to Magellan.
And also being one of our longest circuits on the calendar, 7 kilometers in length, or 4.3 miles, looking at 19 corners, opened in 1921, 104 years ago. This classic circuit, a fan favorite, as you pointed out, but also is a circuit that puts in a lot of fear for drivers, namely as you head up the hill, as you dive for the dreaded Eau Rouge that's been recently updated here on iRacing, but still is not afraid to claim its fair share of blood. Drivers on their qualifying, hoping to move up through the order here at Spa, and there's also everyone utilizing the toe to pull themselves along. So far, Josh Otinsky holds the top spot with a 2:16.4. We saw drivers in practice able to bring it down to a 2:15, but that was running really low fuel and not sitting in big trains.
Yeah, I think those times are going to drop considerably. They've just got one lap in. They've 15 minutes of qualifying today. Take a look on board here with Mr. Bad Santa himself, Brett Thurman, 69 car, SRT Black, currently in 6th place. So Brett having a decent effort thus far. And a big long train of all these SRT cars was at one. I think I see 6 of them there.
Just got to play follow leader and hopefully have enough in the tank. Going back to Sebring, I think there's been a lot of team discussions to go that extra 1.5 laps that they need to do. Let's take a look at our team championship. With that being said, SRT Purple currently leads on 298 points with Mad Works Lunatics in 2nd, I-75 Motorsports in 3rd, SRT Black ahead of Riot Motorsports. As we go further down, Laying Pipe Lunatics, Cranky Sports, SRT White, SGE Esports, and Parabola Azure rounding out our top 10 in the points. And as we move on to our driver championship, Josh Achinsky, who leads out qualifying, is on 159 points. He's only 3 points ahead of Tyler Graf, who is unfortunately not here tonight. So going to be losing out a few critical points for it. Caleb Lehman, Tyler Cateau, and David Bush III holds on to the top 5 in our pro division.
In Pro-Am, Felix Feliz currently has a pretty commanding lead over Pete Mejia, and Pete Mejia is not here tonight. Seb Goche sitting in 3rd, Dale Peterson in 4th, Kevin Berquist also tied with Dale Peterson. So those 2 drivers fighting for 4th place, a little bit behind, 6 points behind Seb Goche. In the amateur division, David Morse currently with 107 points, having a nice start to this season. Dave Jensen 2nd. Caleb Salter in 3rd with 84. Ian Cabana and Neil Alexander rounding out the top 5.
Close in championship points, close in fights. However, a couple of drivers not here tonight means that it's still open bag for everyone. Chase Masiko going and moving up through the order. He's also been on a bit of a climb. Got to say, love the livery that is running at the moment, down in 25th position, hoping to really step up the pace. The Mustang's incredibly quick in a straight line, but notorious for going and wiping out its tires, especially around Spa. Travis Newsom, currently 3rd in class, and is really hoping to, 2nd in class, 3rd overall, trying to move up through the order. We've seen Travis also pulling out a rabbit out of the hat to move forward.
Yeah, Travis has had some good pace this season, and you know who else has had some good paces? Felix Feliz. Felix Feliz, our Pro-Am driver, sitting on top currently, having himself a great effort. Right now, his best lap time actually is tied with Joshua Chinsky, but that's on my timing and scoring. We got to go down to the thousandths of a second, folk, to see the difference.
Felix Feliz aiming to charge his way to the top, getting chased down by Caleb Lehman at the moment, and trying to figure out where he can get the bit of momentum. Every time he gets quicker, he's just helping out the SRT cars. And with the googly eyes and keeping a very close eye on the field, Caleb Lehman gonna be hoping the train doesn't come to a dead halt in front of him.
Oh, I just love his livery. Just love the livery. I mean, a matching driver in the virtual world to the car, and just love the sense of humor. Caleb Lehman sitting in 9th place for SRT Purple, having himself a solid effort, sitting in 5th right now in the pro division.
Trying to see where it all comes together. Drivers hoping to get that little bit of a run. And we've got our driver cams. We've got to say a massive thank you to all our drivers. For one, showing off the beautiful setups and also the amazing faces behind the visors. I've got to say, these drivers are far better looking than myself. And Richard, don't know about you. Got a voice for radio and a face for...
Stephen.
No, I think we can suit ourselves there. But Rob Campbell, who is our cameraman, gotta say, sometimes he's a bit of a cartoon, that's for certain.
Take a look at Colin McKenzie, one of the organizers here, team, and is racing for Laying Pipe Lunatics this season. Colin McKenzie always in the Acura. A little different livery this week here for Colin. That's quite the interesting combination of colors.
Going and showing off its
awareness, folks. Nice to see Colin supporting again this season. I actually was at an RC race this weekend, and one of the drivers there had his car painted very similarly. Nice to see Colin showing off that autism awareness livery for us here this evening. Ian Cabana, 19th place in his customary livery. Ian Cabana with Crikey Esports, him and Kevin Bergquist, always representing the Ferrari and that livery quite well.
Trying to move up through the order. Ian's also been having some great racing. Fortunately, few here and there not quite getting the drive that he really wanted, but hoping to stay at the top. The Ferrari 296 GT3 car is rather strong around Spa. With fixed setup, these drivers are trying to maximize the drive, and it's a beautiful track. It's a beautiful day, and at the moment, Ian Cabana on a beautiful time to try and move forward. Matt Sheriff a little bit further down the order in his Chevrolet, hoping to really move forward. Currently lying 22nd position to the rest of his teammates, the Mad Works Lunatics, looking to take the fight right up to the top, and to the SRT team that have been bugging them so far this season.
Yeah, SRT always puts on a good performance, as a lot of drivers out there, but Matt Scherf is currently 23rd, and I believe that's Chase Matsko right in behind him in his customary livery. A little bit further back, another one of our camera cars, James Hand in the Corvette. James Hand, the British driver, driving the Chevy Power. Love to see that in Belgium. Yes, this is worldwide racing here, folks.
I've got to say, looks amazing with the moustache. I don't know how he manages to keep it looking pristine, even under stress.
Best mustache in the league there.
There we go. I have to completely agree with it. The Chevrolet with its V6 turbocharge right behind its own V8, where you have the Mustang powering its way through. Dale Peterson, unfortunately, not having an easy season, now in 18th position and calling it quits for qualifying. We'll be looking to see where exactly he lands up as cars come through. David Bush III out in the Lamborghini, also going and showing a bit of representation for the autism awareness. Wonderful to see the cars out there, and I've got to say, a very, very distinct livery from the rest of the field. However, he's going to be focusing his eyes forward for the championship. Remember, sits into the top 5, hoping to move forward in the pro class.
Yeah, David Bush III. Wow, Rob and I had the pleasure of broadcasting another race he was in last night. So David Bush III looking for back-to-back good nights. Take a look here at Chris Loam. Chris Loam currently in 32nd place. So Chris Loam having himself a decent effort thus far. Looking for a little bit more though, but we're running out of time in qualifying here, Stephen.
Yep. As time runs out, drivers trying to pick up the dying last second, see where exactly they can get that little bit of a climb up through the order, and who's going to be able to push that little bit more. The question comes down to is, what are you going to do for the start? Because I don't know about you, Richard, I'm not a big fan of starting mid-grid here at Spa, considering you start racing, eyeing out Eau Rouge, you're not starting from Les Combes unless you're towards the back with a monstrous field.
Well, you can say you're not a fan of it. I don't think anybody really is a fan of it, but I don't really have a choice, Stephen, because I'm never at the front. So you just got to get tucked in before you go through Ready on Eau Rouge and get yourself into single file. Otherwise, it's pandemonium. So looks like all these drivers just coming up to complete their final lap. There's just less than a minute left in this session. Time has expired, so they got less than a minute to get over that finish line, lay down their fast lap. Take a look here. Matt Mars coming across. Travis Newsom parking it, and Tyler Cato, 16th place right now.
Great running on his part, and ahead of quite a few of his rivals. But with qualifying done and dusted, we look towards the grid as drivers get themselves ready for yet another round of the Throttle Freaks GT3 Championship here in the beautiful circuit of Belgium. I gotta say, some amazing camera shots of this legendary track. Spa has always been synonymous with GT3 racing and has always been a challenge for those to move forward. Some say it's easy to drive, but very, very difficult to master, and that I have to agree with, as the sweeps will end up being the most trickiest part, relying on pure throttle control and testing your trail braking.
No, that's for sure. I mean, entering Poo on turn 12, that's always a little tricky section. Blanchimont can be tricky. You've got the chicanes, like home at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Even just getting a Radion and Eau Rouge just right. So, lots of speed. A little bit of technicality here, too.
Taking a look at our starting grid, it's Joshua Chinsky and Felix Fizz that will be starting that front row. A little bit further down, we've got Jeff Evans and Caleb Lehman holding 4th position. Andrew Trickett, Travis Newsom holding P6 on the 3rd row. Seb Gauthier and Sean Provost going and holding on for row 4. Herman Pineda and David Bush rounding out your top 10.
We've got Jason Park in 11th, Colin McKenzie in 12th. On row 7, we've got Jared Keane, teammate Jacob Figner. Row 8, Brett Thurman, another teammate, and Tyler Cato in 16th. On row 9, James Hand, great qualifying effort with Dale Peterson in 18th. And Nathan Doogie and Ian Cabana round out your top 20.
Just behind them, row 11, David Morse and Jack Pollock going to be chasing each other down. Row 12 sits with Jordan Spoon, Barry Cochran in 24th. Matt Sheriff and Dave Jensen hold on for P26. P27, Sally Sard and Kevin Berquist in the row 14, a little bit further back and not where they wanted. Cesar Jimenez in P29, followed by Andrew Venero, rounding out your top 30.
Yeah, we got a big grid tonight. 31st, Derek Rice at 32nd, Chris Loam. Row 17, Chase Matsko and Neil Alexander. Row 18, Justin Welsh, Caleb Sellner. Row 19, P37, Chet Miller, Matt Mars in P38. Andy Mills and Doug Evans round out your top 40.
And from row 21, little to go, Andrew Ells in 41st, Jesse Newsom in 42nd. 43rd, Jacob Wagner, followed by Jordan Walker in 44th. William Friesen and Tyler Croft a little bit further down in 46th, and that rounds out our field. Tyler not on the grid, busy watching out from the sideline. Joshua Chinsky starting in second place, looking to get the drop on Felix Fizz as they make their way around side by side, eyes looking forward. Who is gonna get the jump on the rest of the field as they charge their way under green? Joshua currently leading out the race for now, but it's an absolute brawl behind him. Everyone looking to move forward. Travis Newsom takes a dive on the inside, seeing if he can move forward. Seb Gauthier getting a great run as well, and looking rather clean through our first corner.
Yeah, very clean. Joshua Chinsky got a huge jump. But right now, Felix Feliz looking to get that first place position back from him. We got Chinsky, Feliz, Caleb Lieben, and then Travis Newsom and Sean Provo, the top 5, kind of running down a train here, going up the Kemmel Straight. Somebody's ducked up to the inside, but that's not necessarily advisable, and they're tucking back in, but we're coming up 2-3 wide down in the mid-pack. Looks like they're doing all right going through Lacombe. And Colin McKenzie having himself a great battle here, folks, with Jason Park. He's got Jacob Figner in behind, so Colin McKenzie surrounded by SRT cars, but doing a good job holding him off thus far.
A big look down the inside for Tyler to try and move up, seeing his teammate starting to leg it well ahead of him. He's going to have to slip into the toe and having a tough time out there. Unfortunately, we already had one of our cars scoring the meatball flag and now needing a bit of repair work Jachinski starting to open up the distance as the rest of the field still running line astern, seeing where they can move forward. Felix Feliz, unfortunately, in a multitude of pressure as Caleb Leben and Travis Newsom are keeping that second, third, fourth position well alive and seeing who can move forward on cold tires.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chet Miller, new to the league this week, and one of our camera cars had a little incident on lap 1 and had to go into the pits, but Felix Feliz currently second, holding off Caleb Lehman, Travis Newsom behind him. Gaps a little bit separating out a little bit now once you get past these guys. But right now, Joshua Chinsky demonstrating some Corvette power in Belgium tonight. I didn't necessarily think the Corvette was going to have that kind of pace here on this high-speed track, but so far so good for Joshua Chinsky.
Absolutely incredible running, but now needs to keep it up. Remember that we've still got one pit stop that gets served during the race, and there is a bit of damage. And unfortunately, one of our Mercedes stopped at the bus stop, laying the field through. That's Matt Mars trying to get it into pit lane and had to wait for the field to come through. Not ideal circumstances. Now Matt needing to get a bit of work done. Let's quickly take a look at the replay. This is Doug Evans in the Ford Mustang trying to charge his way to the top. Late on the anchors, getting overtaken by the 54 and just seeing the accident ahead of him. Decided to wait it out a little bit. Slight contact on the rear. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, I think what happened was in between Matt Mars and Chase Matsko and behind. We take a look at Matt Mars gets on the brakes, gets into the rear. I'm not sure who that might have been, Neil Alexander, and Chase Matsko into the rear of him. Chase Matsko's got the preferred line getting into the pits. Matt Mars really needed to get over and had to wait.
Well, they call it bus stop, and that's one way to do it, as we've still got a bit of a fight out at the moment. Travis Newsom, who was right into that top 4, now down in 6th after a critical mistake. A quick flash of lights where Herbert Pineda just saying, how's it? How are you? I'm on the tail yet again, and don't count me out just as yet.
Yeah, Herbert Pineda can flash those lights as much as once. I don't think Travis Newsom's going to bite. Heck, to be honest with you folks, and when I'm out there racing, I'm looking forwards. I'm not looking for lights flashing in my mirrors during the daytime that I'm not going to notice. Well, that might just be because I'm blind, but anyhow, Herbert Pineda trying to get by Travis Newsom. But Seb Gauthier tucking it in behind Herbert Pineda. Seb down 1 position, Herb up 2 positions. So Seb looking to get one of those positions back right now. But Seb Gauthier, Jason Park coming up on him, so a little bit of a mixing here. Jason Park getting by, but now, no. Jason Park, Seb Gauthier battling it out here, folks.
We also got to talk about Nathan Doogie on his recent promotion. Going to be happy to move up a class. And Chase Matsko getting the meatball flag. Unfortunately, not having an easy time out there. Nathan trying to get a little bit more of a run up in the Pro-Am class. First race in the Pro-Am class. And it is showing what he can do. Oh, a little bit sideways on the exit of bus stop. Trying to get the hammer down a little bit early. Unfortunately, not going to be an easy run down into the hairpin late on the anchors, and David Morse is not giving him room. Jordan Spoon, unfortunately, running into a bit of a problem, trying to get back to his preferred racing line, and it looks like he's just deciding to get the pit stop done and dusted early on and see if he can move forward. Jordan Spoon trying to now move up through the order. That is contact, unfortunately, through Pouan, able to straighten out the Mustang, but getting completely mobbed by the field.
Yeah, I think that's why he went into the pits now. He took a little bit of damage and maybe go to get some damage repairs. I think we're a little too early for the fuel window to be open, so that must be a damaged situation that he's trying to take over. Take a look here at Nathan Doogie. Nathan Doogie, I know you said he must be happy to be promoted, but it's going to be tougher battling in the Pro-Am. But he definitely has pace, has shown pace the first couple of weeks, and not where he was last week right now, but he started 20th. He's up to 19th. Nathan Doogie having himself a good race so far, looking under the back of Ian Cabana, looking for a little bit more.
We also did see through Speaker Corner, drivers going and putting a wheel off circuit, and does lean on to what we've seen affect the runnings before, and that is incident points getting racked up. One wheel over the line, just pushing a little too hard, is 1 incident point. That racks up and unfortunately can land up with a drive-through. And Spa is one of these circuits that you really want to avoid throughs like no tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, arduous drive on that pit limiter.
Yeah, certainly will. And take a look here at the SRT. Purple car, Josh Ruchinski started first, currently first, but Felix Feliz has been hanging around. He was dropped back a little bit earlier on, but right now he's back on to the tail end of Josh Ruchinski. Caleb Lehman, teammate to Josh Ruchinski, he's in third, second overall in class. So a great effort for this team.
Trying to just move forward.
Great googly eyes too.
There we go. Just eyes as big as saucers at the moment, keeping his foot buried to the floor, charging uphill and trying to see where exactly can he get the run. The car lightens up if you can get over the crest, and you've got to be so careful just to not have that rear kick out underneath you. Caleb not having the easiest time, but really does make it up in the second half of the circuit to close up under braking.
Yeah, definitely can. And got a bunch of fuel saving going on too. You want to do when you're in this train. You may not. You not necessarily need to pass the guy ahead of you. Save a little bit of fuel there. Save a lot of fuel, especially getting that draft. And when you're in a 3-4 car train, if you can fuel save and still keep pace with the guys ahead of you, that's going to pay big dividends when it comes time for pit road.
Brett Thurman also going and doing as much as he can. The Bad Santa looking to see who else he can put on as he's chasing down to try and move forward. He's got Tyler Cato chasing him down at the moment in the Porsche, while Brett's trying to hold on to his teammate Jared Keane further up the road, fighting for 13th position. But also you can see the gaps once again between the trains starting to extend. The last thing you want to do is lose touch of the competition.
That's for sure. And here we are on lap 4. We're going to go about 20 laps tonight. We're 8.5 minutes into this 45-minute race. Started with 46 cars. We still got 39 cars out underway on the lead lap. So overall, not too bad. We've lost a few. We've got some drivers in the pits and some drivers who may not be returning, but going back up to the front here. Felix Feliz in second. He's kind of that sandwich between Joshua Chinsky and Caleb Lehman. Down on the inset, taking a look at David Morris. David Morris having a great season this far. Currently in second place in class. He's following along behind the leader in the AM class, Ian Cabana. So both drivers are battling well. Ian Cabana, he made a victory, I believe, earlier this season. Got his first interview, so it was nice to speak to Ian after several years in Throttle Freaks. David Morris, no stranger as well to the interview room after the race. Both of them having great seasons.
And looks a bit of a dive into the hairpin. Ian Cabana going and saying, thank you very much, I'm moving forward. But the fight behind him starting to heat up at the moment, with Matt Sheriff not wanting to lose a bit of time, deciding he wants to go on the attack early on. See where exactly he can get the pass on Dave Morse. Jack Pollock right behind him, just biding his time, waiting for one crucial mistake to jump up through the order. And once again, Matt looks to the inside, trying to bait and move late on the anchors. Gets it stopped. Unfortunately, not close enough to make the pass as yet, but definitely showing his intent.
Yeah, Matt Sherwood running in the pro category, battling with David Morse in the amateur category. That goes to show you, folks, different tracks have different people are better at some tracks than others. Some cars are better at some tracks than others. So Matt Scherf moving up 3 positions and looking for a whole bunch more as we take a look at David Morse going a little off track and not uncommon on that corner there. You really want to maximize corner exit. That was a little over the maximum. May have taken an incident point there.
You bought Spa. You want to use every bit of the circuit here on iRacing. You paid for it. Just that little test that it's still there, just in case you're not short-handed. Take a look at Jimenez, however. He's chasing down Dave Jensen ahead of him, but also got immense amount of pressure on the back, trying to see where exactly he can hold back Barry Cochran at the moment. But Dave Jensen just starting to open the distance incrementally, just seeing where exactly can he move forward without running into huge problems. But the Mustangs are definitely showing that top end pace.
Yeah, Jensen in third place in amateur right now, so having a solid effort up 2 positions. Jimenez is doing good battle as well. Here we go. We're coming down to the last little section here, entering the chicane. Jimenez doing a good job. Driver's nose to tail, everybody getting straightened out, no moves going on. It's going to be about corner exit and getting through Radion and Eau Rouge, I think, going up the Kemmel Straight where we may see some moves.
Kevin Burkus tried to get the run out of our stop, looks towards the inside for the hairpin, not close enough, backs right back into the slipstream, hoping to pull himself along, and that's just allowed Andrew Venara to get a little bit closer to see if he can go for the strike as well. With Riley Racing on the door, he's looking to share that towards the top. However, Andrew not having the easiest run up the hill, keeps in the slipstream, but no drive heading up to turn 3 and 4 as he keeps a very close eye on Kevin Burke, was hoping another opportunity where Kevin goes on the attack and it doesn't work out for him.
As he comes through the comb, take a look at Andrew Venaro. Andrew Venaro still applying pressure to Kevin Burquist. Kevin Burquist, a wily veteran though, not really falling for it. Now he's sticking the nose in. Burquist cutting him off though. There's just not enough room here. Solly Sad trying very hard to get by Andrew Venaro. And Andrew Venaro looking at Burquist, so you know, try and make that move. It almost cost him a little bit. Take a look here. Jesse Newsom sending it up there. Jesse Newsom getting a good little jump there and getting by.
Andrew Ells a little bit further down as they make their way through. The McLaren has got some incredible pace, however, got caught out. He's got Andy Mills keeping him company, and Caleb Silner a little bit further back, closing up under the anchors as they have the concertina effect constantly coming into play. The worst part being in the middle is that you're providing the slipstream while getting a slipstream. Oh, late on the brake for Andy Mills and into the dirt. That's compromised his drive. Caleb saying thank you very much, gets the overtake, and now I'm sure Andy saying a few interesting words underneath that helmet after a late break.
Yeah, I would think so. And the key there is he tried to do the right thing, but you want to swing that out as wide as possible to maximize your corner exit speed. And unfortunately, it's a little too late on the brakes, swung it out a little too far, costing him that position. Take a look on the back of Jason Park with Sean Provo in behind him. Jason Park in 8th place right now, up 3 positions. Provo down 1, so Provo trying to get that position back from Jason Park. Come through. Eau Rouge ready on, going up Kemmel Straight. Look at the line of cars here. We've got going 1, 2 wide, people snaking all over trying to avoid the draft. Jason Park having Sean Provo going up the outside, Jason Park on the inside. It's a matter of braking late. Herb Pernade up ahead, and wow, Sean Provo very late on the brakes, very brave around the outside, getting that move done.
Sean Provo just was committed to the line, do or die, he's going to make it and keep his foot firmly planted on that throttle. As we take a look at Jesse Newsom running into a bit of a problem. That's Andrew Ells behind him in the McLaren into bus stop, and gearbox kick.
That was a problem. Yeah, and then just disappeared. That was rather unfortunate. We're gonna go back on live racing here. Sean Provo, and somebody's got, looks like they got a slowdown there. Oh, that's Jeff Evans, and slowing right down. So Jeff Evans moving way back. Let's see what happened here with Jeff Evans. Take a little bit of a replay. Coming around through Buon. Oh, he didn't get a slowdown. He just slowed down. The back end came around that Mustang. A little tap on the wall. It's going to cost him several spots. Jeff Evans, the Woodback Racing driver, not real happy with that corner. Hopefully damage is not too severe.
Definitely Waterback getting thrown out in the Puon. Not ideal, and a bit of steering getting checked up unfortunately, if you knock a wall while turning, it goes and impacts, and you get a slight turn, especially on the GT3s. David Bush, however, trying to see his way forward. Interesting not to see him in a bright pink livery, but gotta say, he's trying to close up to his teammate Colin McKenzie. Unfortunately, caught in a fight of note between the SRTs. Both teams trying to move forward and help each other out. However, it is just nose to tail, not enough room for one little mistake. David Bush III hoping that he can keep in the toe, but Colin McKenzie in that little Honda is not giving up the fight. 9th position overall. Seb Gauthier behind him, trying to see if he can utilize the V10 to leg it against the 4-cylinder twin turbocharged Honda, and also keep in that slipstream to try and save a little bit of fuel.
You really want to save fuel where you can, but Colin McKenzie, the brave man, running the Honda, as you call it. I got a little chuckle there, Stephen. Yes, it's a Honda. It's an Acura. But Colin McKenzie, he's been running that for quite a while now. Sean Provo, currently 7th place after that great move on Jason Park. Jason Park is sticking the nose in and letting us see all the logos on the hood. Right underneath the wing. That was a great camera shot there. Thank you, Mr. Producer Man. So far, so good, though, for Sean Provo. Once he got that move done, he's managing to do a good job of holding him off. But Herbert Pineda, loving what he's seeing that battling in his rearview mirror, because Herbert Pineda, he's in 6th place. He's broken away from them. He's about 2.5 seconds up the road, so the more these guys battle, the less chance they have to catch him. Josh Ochinsky, he started this race leading. He's still leading. Felix Feliz in 2nd. Then we have a Caleb Lehman up 1 position to 3rd. Andrew Trickett up in a position to 4th. Travis Newsom up a position to 5th. All of those drivers, I believe, taking advantage of when Jeff Evans went down a little bit earlier with that little spin in slide in Huan.
Now, I've got to ask, with 26 minutes to go, we do know they have to visit the pits. When will be the right time? Because the moment you step out these trains is when you get swallowed up by the field, but also you land up losing so much time because you're out of the slipstream. Richard, as a pro driver from IndyCars, when would you say climbing into the pits would be the best idea, as our drivers showing off cool, calm, and collected?
Yeah, the best time to come into the pits is as late as possible, and make sure you're not coming in alone. So if you're near the front, you don't want to be coming in early, because now you're going to be, I mean, you got a 46 car field, so you're going to be coming out into traffic somewhere, and you definitely want to tie that off as late as possible, and ideally you want to be coming in with 1 or 2 other people. Yeah, it makes it hard to win on pit strategy, but you don't want to lose because you're coming in and out by yourself and losing all that draft.
So take a buddy with you regardless. This is where you start sending a message saying, hey, listen, I'm scared of the pit lane. Can you just hold my hand on the way through, sort of approach?
That's it. I'd say something offensive, but I'm more mature now than I was watching side-by-side little rubbins racing between Jared Keane and Tyler Cato. Tyler Cato now to the inside of Keane. Keane on the outside. Does Taylor have some overlap? He does have a little bit of overlap as they're going side by side once again. This time Cato taking advantage. Keane gonna have to tuck it in behind. So, wow, that started off with Keane getting the move done, and then Tyler got it back. Jeff Evans, loving what he's seeing in there. Jeff Evans, 15th place. He's down a whole bunch, but that gives him a little opportunity to maybe make some of those spots up. Those drivers battling up ahead of him is exactly what he needs to continue to advance and get back to where he started.
And it's the SRT team all fighting with one another. Seb, unfortunately, having his teammate Jacob Fichtner on the back of him, trying to see if he can get on by. Brett Thurman waiting for his opportunity as well, but he's got a little bit of a tough time. Jacob Fichtner on Seb, trying to see if they can move forward and try and push the train forward. However, it's a tough time in the team. When do you make the call to get yourself into the box? And also, do you give each other a little bit of room, considering you're all in the same class and Colin McKenzie is just waiting for each of the SRT team to just check each other up?
Yeah, and with the SRT team, folks, the way you can tell which team they're on is the color of the wheels. Take a look. Sean Provo, Colin McKenzie Look at this. Colin McKenzie, the inside. That's going to get Provo the inside in the next corner, but Colin McKenzie holds off. So right now, Sean Provo is battling now. He's got Seb Gauthier in behind. So take a look here. It's something on a replay here with Kevin Berquist of Cranky Motorsports. Kevin Berquist just coming into the pits, so nothing unexpected necessarily. I think the pit window should be open now.
Well, to say unexpected, I saw a Mustang parked in the wrong direction and getting its nose checked up as well. I've got to point out, Spa is one of these pit lanes that can be an absolute pain through bus stop because you're expecting your competition to go left into the final corner. Meanwhile, they go dead straight, but also can back the train up to a point that is an absolute nightmare. It's a first gear corner. Nathan Doogie, however, putting the pressure on. He's trying to see where exactly can he get the jump up through the field. Not going to be an easy time against Ian Cabana in that Ferrari, as we start to see more and more of the pit stops happening for fuel. And if we go back in recent history, this is where drivers got the jump on one another. Those that ran incredibly long needed incredibly long, well, needed enough time between one another. Don't want to get caught out. Colin McKenzie, however, I would say is utilizing your idea. Run until the fuel light stays on and turns off because you've been ignoring it.
Yeah, I think that's a wise move at this stage, because right now he's holding off the SRT conglomerate in behind him, and coming in, it would just put him right in the middle of traffic, I think. And right now, that's not where he wants to be. He wants to be leading people, not following people. Take a look here. Andrew Trickett, currently 4th place, starting 5th. You know what? Andrew Trickett in the BMW, doing BMW proud. 2nd in Pro-Am, 4th overall. Having a solid effort and a solid season. Some great driving by Andrew Trickett of late.
Great stuff. However, having a little bit of a rough time out there. Caleb Lehman going and keeping his eyes firmly fixated on 2nd place at the moment. Felix Flees having a stunning time. And I've got to say, this is one of Felix's better runs from start to over halfway in the race. However, Caleb Lehman just sitting back, relaxed at the moment, just reporting in to Joshua saying, right, buddy, I'm a little bit behind. I'm keeping a very close eye on what Felix is going to do. However, Trickett just lays the pressure on, seeing where he can close it up at the top of the hill as they start making their way down. Pit stops, Jimenez into the pits, Neil Alexander into the pits as well. And I do see quite a variety of cars with the bodywork bent on the right-hand side.
Yeah, no surprise. There's been a little bit of banging and a little bit of bruising and banging. Cesar Jimenez in 32nd place. Right now, our leader of all the people who've taken their pit stops is David Bush III. So David Bush III, he started in 10th, and right now he's in 26th. He's kind of set the benchmark in terms of pit times. Right now, we've had about, just over a third of the field have made their pit stops. I guess I'm mostly right on this when people are waiting late today. Not many people wanting to jump in early, but Dave Bush III not afraid. Now he's got actually some clear track ahead of him, but Joshua Chinsky been the leader from the start. Felix Feliz been following since the beginning. Caleb League, Andrew Trickett, Travis Newsom rounding out the top 5. Herbert Pineda having a solid effort, but Herbert Pineda a little bit down right now. He's in 6th place.
Just keep an eye on the field. Your crystal ball is most certainly working. You don't need to change the batteries as yet. Joshua Chinsky, however, not getting a dominating run as we've seen in the past. Felix Feliz making a lot of time heading into the bus stop as we see Travis Newsom diving into pit lane to get himself sorted out. Take a look at Felix under brakes. He closes up at a rate of knots, forcing Joshua to look in those mirrors. Travis Newsom pulls into the pits out of the top 10 and is going to be keeping a very close eye on when he comes out. But this is also a good indicator for our top 4 of what's happening and when they can get into pit lane and if it's going to work out for them. However, Felix just on a stellar run, and take a look at the drive that he's got over Joshua.
Yeah, it's Felix sticking the nose to the outside, but Josh Wojcinski covers him off. I think Felix Feliz just doing a little bit of a test there. I think is really the big battle is going to be after the pits and after they get their fuel service. And we'll see, maybe somebody's going to take some tires, somebody will take some fronts perhaps. Right now, another driver's Doug Evans in the pits. We've got a whole bunch of drivers in the pits now, about more than half the field, but Josh Wojcinski continuing to hold off Felix Feliz. So right now, 1, 2, third place, Andrew Trickett now with those other pit stops going on. We'll see where everybody cycles out in the next couple of minutes though, folks.
I'm talking about drivers that should be there. Caleb Lehman is out of the top running because Andrew Trickett's up to third. Lehman nowhere to be seen at the moment, has fallen down the order. Maybe a critical mistake that's thrown him down. Yeah, there he is, trying to move his way forward. He is way down from where he wanted to be. Seb making the pass and now looking to go and chase down Caleb Silner further up the field. But Andrew Trickett having a beautiful drive, Felix having a great drive, and Josh Wojcinski. But interesting to see that Caleb Lehman just dropping like a stone out of our timing board.
Yeah, I think Caleb Lehman may have had some technical issues and it kind of disappeared as far as we can see. But taking a look here, Josh Wojcinski continuing to go around it once more. So Felix Feliz, Andrew Trickett, Herbert Pineda all in the pits, but Josh Wojcinski hanging it out for one more lap. You know, in his case, I'll make an exception, Stephen. He wasn't drafting behind anybody. He was out leading the whole way. So what's one more lap? Oh, everybody coming in now. Every single car, it looks like, except for our leader, Josh Wojcinski. I don't know how he saved fuel when he was leading the race from the beginning, but that's some really solid driving.
And last time we saw him saving fuel like this, it landed up with the SRT team going and coughing and spluttering across the line. So you can be sure everyone is going and adjusting their fuel ever so slightly. Joshua, are you going in extra? Yes, okay, we're going to just give it a little bit more gas underneath. We don't want to repeat a Sebring.
Yeah, I think he's got, he might have one of those, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter in diameter fuel lines, or maybe a couple inch diameter fuel lines. That's about 65 feet long in that Corvette, because Josh Wojcinski eking out one more lap over everybody else in the field. So 46 car field, only one person managed to make it complete 13 laps.
And Jeff Evans trying to keep it all together. He's under some serious pressure at the moment. Fights happening all around him as Jared Keane trying to go on the attack on Tyler Cato ahead of him, and Cato not having an easy battle indeed, as we hear Jared feathering the throttle, just seeing if he can get the drive. It's on the brakes with the Lamborghini. Oh, it sounds so amazing to hear the V10 scream its heart out and try move through the order. I mean, we got a Symphony V8 straight 6 V10. What better way to have a wonderful evening or an early morning just listening to that Symphony?
Oh, that's for sure. Gotta love the sound of that. James Hand currently 17th place on camera. That's where James Hand started. Doing well with the Corvette though. James Hand in 11th in class right now. He's at Ian Cabana in behind him. Ian Cabana, leader of the amateurs. So James Hand though, looking at Jack Polyak ahead of him. So James Hand in the Corvette, Polyak in the BMW right now. Great racing. We're over 30 minutes into this race. Joshua Wojcinski now into the pits. Finally, he made it.
Going and finally running out of fuel. And it's not even based on setup that he was able to get. It's just the lifting, coasting, and also driving style coming into play whilst under pressure. The question is, has he made up enough time? As we do see Felix now gunning it to try and make his way through. Remember, Felix's tires are going to be a little bit warmer compared to Joshua, who had that slight stationary time and will now just need a little bit of effort to generate some heat back into the tires. But Felix is well clear of Andrew Trickett, with no pressure behind him, can set his eyes forward to close up that 2.6 second gap.
Yeah, Josh Wachowski doing a great job through pit strategy and fuel savings. Managed to save 2 seconds, gain 2 seconds over Felix Feliz. So great job by him. Let's take a look here at Travis Newsom and battling along with Herbert Pineda. They're going side by side down the Kemmel Straight. Travis Newsom getting that job done. Herbert Pineda didn't look like he put up too much of a fight. Kind of knew that that was better left unsaid for now. Let's battle back a little bit later. Stay in the draft. Travis Newsom up to 4th place. Herbert Pineda up 4 positions to 5th. So both drivers on the podium in the pro category. Felix Feliz in 2nd, Andrew Trickett in 3rd. They're both pro-ams. So great racing. A little bit of a mixture between the pros and pro-ams in the top, all the way through the top 15.
Caleb Sullett trying to make a move on Andrew, getting the pass done and dusted in a straight line, able to stop it dead on the apex. McLaren with a bit of damage to its nose, now trying to cycle through, but Caleb having an easy run, but just not getting the exits that he wants out of the Ferrari. And you can see how he is having to guard the inside line, ensuring he holds the apex. Now making it to Speaker Corner, formerly known as No Name. Finally got given a name, and big moments coming in for Andy Mills, sliding the car around into the dirt. He was able to save it, but not quite what he wants to have this late into the race.
No, that'll always make you check the shorts after that, but Andy Mills managed to do a good save here. Take a look at the replay. Coming in here and getting out onto the dirt, and yeah, good job. That could have gone horribly wrong.
And that's why we call them pros, and that's why they down on the track, and we're sitting up here in the commentary box going and taking a look at some amazing racing, then snaking around everyone, trying to just break the slipstream and follow in it, as Seb trying to fight back against his own teammate. He's got Sean Provost going all over the back of him. Colin McKenzie just eyeing out an opportunity as he sees the 2 SRT cars fight it out. Well, the Acura having a stellar drive coming up at the top hill in the slipstream, now looks to go on the attack. Sean will have to get rather defensive, hold that inside line. Colin's going to keep in the slipstream as long as he can. Nearly 3 wide and a little bit of rubbing and racing. Colin got the upper hand though, trying to duck on the inside, but Sean getting a stellar exit. Seb getting a little bit of paintwork shared between himself and the Mustang.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of teamwork going on there between the SRT drivers, making sure that Colin McKenzie couldn't get through. Colin McKenzie now has his teammate David Bush III in behind him, so getting a little bit of team-on-team action here, folks. This is some great battling. Colin McKenzie having a very solid effort. Colin's been driving well this season. He's always had pace and hasn't always had the best results, but teammates doing a good job tonight. 9th and 10th place overall. 6th in class, 4th in class. Man, that's really surprising. Colin McKenzie, 6th in his class. He's in the Pro-Am division. He's ahead of the pro driver, David Bush III, who's 4th in class. So lots of Pro-Ams, 11th spot tonight.
And take a look at Tyler in the review mirror camera, was sniffing left and right and saying, come on, David, my chance, let's have a go. I want to clear past you. Jeff Evans also closed up, but a couple of drivers coming into the pits. Chris Lamb going into the pits to get himself sorted out, and that is going to be for damage. But absolutely incredible run as they head out of block. It is a very frightening corner. You got to get your line dead right, otherwise you're going to visit the wall, run out wide, or just have no drive into the bus stop, as it is a nose to tail blocking between one another. Colin McKenzie fouled up his teammate, and that just allowed Tyler to go around the outside, seeing if he can make it work.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side here. Always a dangerous spot to be side by side. We got David Bush the third, Tyler Cato to the inside. Bush the third wisely checking up, tucking in behind, because you don't want to be going too wide there at this stage of the race. Still 9.5 minutes of racing left to go right now. Look at this, all these cars in this train still battling hard. My goodness, we are what, 16 laps into this about 20 lap race. Tyler Cato, 10th place, up 6 positions, having a stellar effort.
Newsom not pulling away from Pineda and still having a bit of a tough time there. Jason Park, however, starting to creep up on the two and slowly but surely been bringing his lap times down, seeing if he can close up that little bit of effort. Lap time with 2:17.1, which is quicker than Herbert Pineda by 0.1, but not as quick as Travis Newsom, who is, well, 0.1 quicker than Jason Park. And I mean, that's next to nothing in terms of sheer pace. It's next to nothing between these drivers, but it also shows how evenly matched between the different classes each driver is.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I-75 Motorsports having another solid night. Travis Newsom, second in class. Tyler Cato, fourth in class. Jesse Newsom, 15th. So great effort for these drivers. Travis Newsom currently fourth overall right now, up 2 positions on the day. So Travis Newsom holding off Herbert Pineda. Herbert Pineda is starting to whittle his way in there and looking for a little bit more. I think the podium may be a little out of reach, but take a look further back at Nathan Doogie. Nathan Doogie having some exceptional pace earlier on this season, causing the promotion to Pro-Am. Tonight's not been his night, but he's in a good, hard-fought battle here. We got Corvettes, and BMW up ahead. So right now, making a move, Nathan Doogie having himself a solid effort, battling with James Hand. James Hand going a little off the track. That's it. Nathan Doogie getting that job done, setting his sights on Jack Polyak next.
You can see taking a look into the mirrors, taking a look at the relative, just seeing what's going to happen. And James Hand down the inside through the hairpin, gets the pass. Cool, calm, collected, but will be wanting to quickly make up the momentum. James Hand, a little bit of a, got that one done. Now to try and step my sights further up the field. However, Nathan's not going to take that lying down. It's a battle of the turbochargers right now, as both the BMW and the Chevs running V6, well, straight 6, V6, all turbocharged, and a huge amount of pace. But it's Sean Provost trying to move his way up on Colin McKenzie, who is leading this monstrous train. Lost the drive to Seb Gauthier further adrift. Colin McKenzie, 5th in class, with Dave Jensen sitting 8th in his class. Jordan Spoon, but it is wheel off into Speaker Corner. And take a look at David Bush III retaking his position ahead of Tyler Cato. And unfortunately for Tyler, getting block pass on the way through. That is going to help out Jeff Evans to close the distance and see if he can get involved in the fight.
Yeah, Tyler going a little wide there, getting off into the dirt. And David Bush third not waiting for a second invite, taking advantage and getting by there. So right now on board with Jeff Evans. Jeff Evans doing a great job fighting back after that earlier slide. He's back up to 12th place overall. Looking for a little bit more though, and there's a lot more to be had. We're less than 6 minutes left. Now Evans ducking to the inside. Evans may try to make that move, and Tyler Cato looks like he's going to be able to hold him off right now. So coming in here, great pass. Oh, Cato going way wide, trying to keep up the momentum. That's going to be an off track, and right now, oh, a little bumping, a little more bumping, and this is not good, folks. It's not what we want to see. Jeff Evans losing a little bit of hardware, and it looks like Tyler Cato may have lost the front bumper.
Jared Keane having to slow down to avoid all the carnage ahead of him. He's able to get the pass, and now it's going to be Dale Peterson put his nose forward with the Ferrari, seeing if he can get involved. We did see side-by-side through Blanchemont, unfortunately, rubbing and racing. And we're going to retake a look at it. It was Tyler who put a wheel off, lost the drive, and side-by-side through Blanchemont a little bit for Jeff Evans to try and close the door. He got the pass. Not necessarily any problem there, but it was a slight contact on the rear that went and bounced Jeff Evans, and the two of them is pretty much between a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately for Jared Keane, he had to hit the anchors and just, all right, you guys solve it between yourself before I get involved.
That's for sure. And while that's going on, Josh Ochinsky, not much to say here, folks. He's got himself over a 5-second lead over Felix Feliz, so coming out of the pits, it looked like Felix Feliz is going to close that lead down a little bit, but instead now Joshua Chinsky just starting to outpace the field. This looks like it's Joshua Chinsky's to lose. Just has to drive clean from here on out. Felix Feliz in second. He is 5 seconds behind. In behind him, Andrew Trickett in third. He's a second behind Feliz. So still a few minutes of racing left, but not a lot to fight for unless Andrew Trickett can pick up the pace a little bit, get on the back of Felix Feliz.
Andrew Trickett hoping to really close up the distance. So far, Felix Feliz holds the fastest lap of the race with a 2:16.3. Hasn't been able to convert it into a first place as yet. And Andrew Trickett just closing up, waiting for his opportunity. Second place on the cards here at Spa. What better way to leave round 4 looking to the halfway mark in the championship. However, it is going to be a tough time for Felix to get elbows out racing to hold on to first of Pro-Am. Andrew Trickett dialing up the pressure, seeing where exactly can he get this pass done, dusted, and moving on. But while the two of them are going to fight it out, that's just going to allow Newsom Pineda next 3 minutes to close some distance. Not a lot, but definitely they waiting, hanging on to the coattails at this stage of the game, willing our front pack to get into a fight and lose out that little bit of time. 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go. Still a lot of time to get it right or horribly wrong, Richard.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're on the penultimate lap. Colin McKenzie had himself this battle continuing on right now. Colin McKenzie in 7th place, up 5 positions. Having himself a great race, but he's got a Seb Gauthier. Seb Gauthier still looking to get back to where he started. Seb Gauthier down 1. And right in behind Seb Gauthier, Sean Provo and David Bush III. So we've got teammate, non-teammate, teammate. So a little bit of teammate battling in for what position we battling for. We're battling for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th between the 4 cars.
Absolutely wonderful stuff in our track cams for Gourmet, showing off some amazing angles, and Rob working overtime to go and take a look at all the different battles around the circuit. However, it's the final time to give it a big push. Jacob Fichtner trying to see if he can get by. Unfortunately, Dale is driving a rather wide car at the moment. You can see Jacob, every time he looks to get round, it's just one Ferrari bumper in the way. Jacob's going to have to put that big nose forward and see if he can try clear past the Ferrari that's prancing around him, trying to guard the line, as we do land up with Dale touching the dirt. Loss of drive through the long right-hander as they make their way through. This is Joshua Chinsky, though, getting the white flag. One more lap to go. One more push. Felix and Andrew Trickett now fighting out for first in their class and are right on top of one another. Newsom and Pineda fighting out for second and third in their class, with likes of Jason Park just eyeing out, hoping to have a stellar drive, holding third in the Pro-Am field.
Yeah, all that's going on. It'd be interesting to see, take a look at what's going on up here. Felix Feliz, Andrew Trickett going right now. Trickett not able to get a move done on Felix Feliz. Felix Feliz kind of driving down the middle. That's it. Trickett says, enough of this. I'm going down the inside. They're going to go side by side. No, Trickett backs out wisely. There wasn't enough space there. Didn't want to lose his position. Right now, Trickett all over the back of Felix Feliz. Feliz has had that position since the get-go. He's been started on the front row. He's been on second since this race started. Andrew Trickett, though, says, hey, this is the last lap. It's now or never. Applying all kinds of pressure. Feliz can't not afford to make mistakes. Got to drive defensively, but he's also got to drive aggressively. So, tough combo here.
Gonna bleed off the brake a little bit earlier. It's all about who can put the nose forward as they're running out of time through Pouon. And take a look at the two different lines. Andrew Trickett opening up the corner a bit, trying to move his way forward down the gears, a bit of engine braking to see if he can close up to Felix, taking shallow guarding the apexes as much as possible, but it's now down to the last section of the circuit. It's the last big push. Can Felix hold on to second place, first in class? And Andrew goes out wide. That killed the drive. Can he make it up through Blanchemont? I think he's lost too much compared to Felix, and will have to settle for third overall. Second in class, Felix will be going and taking a bit of sweat off the brow, but the winner of the race overall and in the GT3 Pro, Joshua Chinsky, extends his lead in the championship.
A solid effort, and Andrew Trickett did all he could, tried his best, but unfortunately just did not have enough for Felix Feliz tonight. Andrew Trickett coming in third, Felix Feliz, Travis Newsom fourth. Take a look here, Colin McKenzie a little further back in seventh, managing to hold off Seb Goche. Sean Provo managed to hold off David Bush the third, so, you know, different teammates a little ahead of it. Here we go, we got still battles going on here. James Hand is having a battle with Tyler Cato. They're going side by side. It looks like James Hand is going to get this one.
Just through the final corner, got it done. What a drive. And now we got Cesar Jimenez trying to see if he can move forward on the likes of Caleb Silner. He put his nose forward, the two of them still side by side. Caleb had to go wide, straighten out the steering. It's a drag race to the line. Caleb beating out Jimenez just by a hair. What a stunning run. Andy Mills keeps an eye out saying, oh, that was the best seat in the house to see it. Caleb Lehman rejoins. Good to see him out there. 30th position, was fighting for the top 5, but keeping to what I always say, if you see the green, you gotta see the checkered. It's all about the points. Caleb comes across the line in 30th, not his race, but still manages to put a point on the table.
Yeah, he's definitely no quitter. Nice to see him finish the race. Justin Welsh going to come across for Backmarker Racing at 34th place. Justin Welsh started 35th, just up one position. So Justin Welsh also crossing on the lead lap here.
Incredible stuff. Jordan Walker in the Audi R8 GT3 Evo, the only Audi in the field. Jordan Walker going and finishing up 35th position for the Parabolic Cobalt team. And what a drive on his part. A little bit lonely, but it's all about the consistency, and was able to claw his way up through the order. Wonderful stuff. And take a look, a beautiful photo of the teams right on the straight. And man, oh man, what better sight to see all these GT3s together.
Yeah, that was some exciting racing, Steven. What do you think? I thought Spot delivered tonight.
Absolutely manic and showing off some of the best skills. We saw a little bit of rubbing and racing. We saw a bit of car parts left over for spares, but ultimately it came down to some incredible overtakes to get it done and dusted right up to the line. Spa has always put on a great show, but it's always been Throttle Freaks that just elevates that bar every round, and showing why our pros are able to stay at the top. And let's take a look at our pro field. Joshua Chinsky wins out the race ahead of Travis Newman, and Herbert Pineda holds on for third. Joshua taking everything except the hardest charger because, well, he got into first and ran away. William Prieston takes 35th. But Richard, take us through our Pro-Am, which was incredibly close.
Yeah, Felix Feliz coming second overall, first in Pro-Am division. Andrew Trickett battling hard, third overall, second in the division, and Jason Park in third. Our charger, Andrew Ellis, is extraordinary, up 25 positions.
Incredible stuff. And our Amsels, Ian taking the victory ahead of Caleb Silner, who had to hold back Cesar Jimenez right on the final corner. Had a brilliant race, but it was Silner who went and had the last for that second ahead of Jimenez. Andy Mills got the hardest charger, and managing to get pole position and fastest lap. What a drive from all three classes. Incredible work from our drivers.
Yeah, 45 minutes of action. Definitely a different race than we saw last week, but an exciting race nonetheless, and lots of team driving. I noticed a lot of team driving here at Spa, and I think that's something you really need to do where the draft and the toe is so important.
With that being said, we have got our drivers lining up to come and have a chat to our first place overall, first in class, Joshua Chinsky, going and getting the victory, managing to charge his way to the top. Going to be getting him mic'd up to come and have a chat to us and see how he felt about the race after an early jump from green to checkered. Joshua, welcome to the commentary box and congratulations on yet another victory. First question, have you gone and opened up those fuel lines? Because you were the longest out on a single tank.
Yeah, it was a little reminiscent of what happened the last time we were around here. Richard, I'm not sure if you were in the box for that race 2 seasons ago. But we were in the endurance pits, and I think I lasted 2 laps longer. I love this track, and I gotta be honest, it's all the Corvette. Whatever the fuel mileage is with that car, it's insane. I mean, I can drive the car as well as anybody else, but I can't do anything to make that fuel go lean. So just thankful for the hardware that's underneath me. Exactly. Yep. It's just following me around the track and just feeding me a little bit more every time I pass the pits.
What a way to think about it. Did you feel that at the start of the race, when you had the entire field lying on top of you and you had Felix Fleas having a go at you, had your own teammate going and charging through, you also had this battle around you? Did you feel, hang on, I might lose first here? Do you think that that might have affected your pace at all? Or was it, I'm not going to worry about it, I'm going to put my head down and just keep going?
No, I wasn't worried about it. I had a race plan that I knew I was going to be following. I needed to make it 13 laps no matter what. That's what I had been practicing. And really, I kind of knew the lay of the land as soon as I almost wrecked out on the first corner. I can't believe my car caught itself. But the fact that Felix chose not to get the run on me all the way up through Eau Rouge, I knew that it was just going to be a fuel save race, and he just wanted to sit behind. So I knew so long as I wasn't significantly slowing down the rest of the pack, I wasn't really going to have to worry about a hard charge because nobody wanted to be first. I didn't even mean to get pole. It was an accident because I didn't want to be leading around here either. But hey, it worked out in the end. Really unfortunate what happened to Caleb. He had a VR disconnect. We were going to be in for a really solid batch of points for SRT Purple. So just a little bit of a blemish on the race, but we'll take what we can get.
Still ultimate drive and a happy accident, one would say. Before we let you go to cool down after an incredible race, anything you would like to say right here on the Race Nexus channel to all the Throttle Freaks out there, to the drivers that were racing on the grid with you tonight, and even to your own team of SRT Purple that were eyeing out and scratching their head off, what did you do different in the Chev?
Absolutely. Well, first off, shout out to my parents and also my sister's girlfriend, Tara, for watching. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. I love this hobby. I love what I do. And it means the world to me that you guys support and watch. A shout out to SRT for providing just such a fantastic organization and a team. It really is just fantastic, man. The way that we all work together, go through the data every week. It's just such a great group of guys. Shout out to everybody in the rest of the grid. Really unfortunate for Felix what happened there. I think we were going to be in for a really nice last couple laps of hard battling. So it was unfortunate to see him have that little mix up there coming out of the bus stop. But I'm glad he still was able to retain his class win. And then last but not least, shout out to Throttle Freaks for putting this series together. It's an absolute blast to participate in. They have it down pat of what a really solid GT series should be. And then thank you to you guys at Racer Nexus for putting on a fantastic show. I can't wait to watch this one back.
Yeah, it's definitely a watch and grab some popcorn. It was an amazing race. Josh Ochinsky taking the victory in the pros and victory overall. And what a stellar drive indeed. Richard, now we got to hand over to you, the young gun, talking to the other young gun, Herbert Pineda.
Hey, congratulations, Uncle Herb. Great job.
Hey, what's going on, Pops?
It's you gotta be happy to get yourself back on the podium, Herbert.
Yeah, it was a pretty quiet race. I mean, I was just basically following Newsom around. A little annoyed that I couldn't pass him cleanly, but it is what it is. So I just decided to stay behind and just take the podium and what it was given, you know?
Well, some days you got to maximize your opportunity, and it looks like you did that tonight, Herbert. Next week we're going to Mugello. Mugello. What do you think you're gonna do there? You got much experience in Mugello?
Well, as long as it doesn't rain and as long as it's not 110 degrees track temp, you know, I think we should be all right with the Lambo. You know, the Lambo's got a lot of rotation, so that's what you need there. So I don't know. We'll see what we do over there in Italy.
No, that should be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Herbert. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yes. Shout out to my wife for allowing me to have my hobby with no issues. To all the guys over at Ace Motorsports and to you guys, thanks for putting in a great broadcast, and to the league as well.
All right. Well, congratulations. It's nice to see you back on the podium. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate you, Pops. Have a good one.
Cool, calm and collected, that's for certain. But let's talk about a driver that withstood the pressure. Felix, please, welcome to the commentary box. How are you feeling after that race? I think you had a moment without having your wing mirrors full of cars and also on the chase.
Yeah, I had a huge moment coming out of the bus stop on the last corner there. Thank God I barely touched the wall. I had a little bit of damage. So after that, I was in just fuel saving mode. I was running really low on fuel. Plus Andrew was chasing me down. I tell you what, man, I got really lucky there.
Well, lucky and handling it. How was the start of the race? 4-car train, first place overall, just in front of you, but was definitely in a brawl the whole way through.
I definitely have a pace to overtake Joshua. I just not quick enough. I fell. So I figured, you know what? I'll just tuck behind him and save as much fuel as possible so I don't get jumped by the guys behind me. So that seemed to work pretty well. I think Caleb had a hardware issue. That's too bad. I was looking forward to having a nice little battle with him. But yeah, Joshua was just too much fuel saving, too fast. Listen, I'm just happy I was able to finish the race. So yeah, on to the next one.
Well, taking the victory in Pro-Am for SG Esports, what is your plan for the rest of the season? And do you have any shout outs to go out here on the Race with Nexus to everyone out in the virtual grandstand, drivers and teams that you battled across this race and managing to just sustain the pressure till the very end?
Yeah, real quick, my game plan for the rest of the season is just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. Try to be in the top 5, top 10. But yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my teammates that was supposed to be back this week. God damn you guys. And you know, my beautiful wife, of course, and my daughter Zoe. She's my #1 fan. So yeah.
The big boss saying that you have to finish in first, and well, you finished in first. And hopefully we look forward to seeing your team rejoining you on the circuit in our next round. Felix Feliz taking 2nd place overall, victory in the Pro-Am. But Richard, you managed to get hold of another fight, Andrew Trickett, who managed to get 2nd in the Pro-Am.
Hey there, guys.
Congratulations on 2nd. Yeah, 2nd in Pro-Am, a 3rd overall. That's a solid day of racing.
Yeah, I think that's one of my higher finishes in Throttle Freaks. I'm pretty happy about that, especially with the competition out there. So, yeah, that was a fun race. That was exhausting. I gotta tell you, that was hard. Always in a battle, always in a pack, except after the pit stops where we seemed to sort of spread apart a bit.
Yeah, I was just taking a look. I think you had a class victory earlier this season, but I think this is your first overall podium, if I'm not mistaken, and that's awesome. That's got to be thrilling.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is my first podium this season, and overall. So yeah, on a pretty good run. I think, like you mentioned, I had a second place last week, a first place the week before that in class, and yeah, I just want to keep the momentum going and see what it would be like going to Mugello next week.
You must have been getting a little hungry at the end there with Felix having a little bit of an issue and you closing right in. Did you think you had a chance there, maybe at second overall?
I knew he was quick, but I also figured he was probably low on gas. So I was trying to push, but unfortunately I pushed myself a little wide there in the last corner. I probably would have had an opportunity coming into the last chicane. If I hadn't have done that, I lost all momentum. So yeah, I could have dive bombed, but I probably wouldn't have ended both of our race. So I was happy with where I was, and I'll take the points.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to try it somewhere. You tried it where you did. It didn't quite work, but if you don't try, you don't know. So next week we go to Mugello. Looking forward to seeing what you can do there for us, Andrew. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Just like always, the guys out there, great racing. It's the highlight of my week, so I really enjoy coming out and racing with these guys. Super, super clean and fun. Good racing, and you guys who always put a great show. I rewatch the broadcast afterwards, and it's always fun to see your commentary and have a good little chuckle with you guys.
Well, that's great, and we appreciate the good racing and the great performance you put on. You gave us something to broadcast, gave us something to show and get excited about. So we will see you next week. Look forward to talking to you again.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Absolutely wonderful. And joining us in the commentary booth, first in the AM class, Ian Cabana, welcome to the commentary booth. What a drive out there to score a class victory, but a very hard-fought victory. How are you feeling after that one? And even Rob Campbell is extremely happy you managed to grab the victory.
Oh, thanks. Spa at first is not my best track. Everyone knows that track, and I'm pretty slow normally. But for some reason, this week I felt decent, and David Morse had a good qualifier just around me. He was following, and for some reason he fell back, so I don't know what happened. And that opened the door to keep it was about managing the race, my spot, and yeah.
What was your game plan in terms of fuel usage to keep the car going, to keep in the middle of the field overall, but still managing to hold your class lead? From the green flag, you've been right up there.
Yeah, I try to keep the guys in front of me under a second or around a second, and for some reason it works. I knew that Nathan Duguay is a pretty fast guy, so I just try. He did a few mistakes to let me keep that pace, and I was able to keep my position that way.
Absolutely wonderful stuff. Before I let you go, do you want to give anyone a shout out on the virtual grandstands right here on the Racing Nexus channel, and to all the Throttle Freaks out there racing side by side with you, and even to your teammate that was a little bit down the order this time round, but looking to chase you down for that top spot next time at Mugello?
Yeah, Kevin is a pretty good driver. He's normally consistent, and it's kind of my reference. So if I have a good lap time around him, so I know I'm good in my class. So yeah, but like I said, Spa was not our race, so I'm not surprised that he was a little bit behind me. But yeah.
Absolutely wonderful stuff. Ian, congratulations once again on a stellar victory in the AM class and managing to open up a 21-second lead to the rest of the AMs. Ian Cabana taking a stellar run in his Ferrari 296. Richard, it's been an absolutely incredible run. But anything from yours that's closing thoughts on this incredible race as we now look forward to Mugello, the halfway mark in our championship?
Yeah, we've seen a couple of different types of tracks, and next week we go over to Italy. So great racing here tonight. We lost a few drivers, but 46 car field, that's spectacular, and I'm looking forward to see how many cars we get out next week. But for Racer Nexus, I'm Richard Swindells. We're as always sponsored by Apex Sim Racing. This was us at Spa, Throttle Freaks. On behalf of Stephen Kernick, Rob Campbell in the booth, we'll see you next week.